machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.
Welcome to today's show. We've got our daily debate today. Reedy, you've set this one up. Our thoughts on Cifuentes. What did you want to talk about?
So just obviously Jay was mentioning yesterday about maybe talking about the new manager and seeing what the thoughts are after a few weeks of him being in charge. And to be honest, I think people's first thoughts was more, oh, is it like Enzo? Is it like this, like that? But I think after seeing a few games and seeing what his kind of style is, I think we've come to the opinion that it's kind of Enzo, but a bit more attacking in a way of a bit more direct and a bit more fast paced. And I think even you lot are coming around to a bit more of the, as much as it's a passing style, it's more a bit of both of what we both want. So,
well, I'm looking forward to seeing it in action in real matches where it counts. Because again, being honest, he's kind of done 3 or 4 pre-season matches. One the Fiorentina one, albeit was good, and again we beat them 2-0 and they drew 0-0 with Forest. So it's hard to benchmark it because it's different players probably from their side, but we didn't look too great against the Farmers team at the school fields, but we beat them. Again against Cologne in the afternoon that day, I thought we looked particularly poor. So I'm hoping from everything I've seen of him, it looks like it is Enzo-esque, but more direct, more attacking, and that's what. Because Enzo was fine. It was just it got dull, in my opinion. Both during a game, you might be winning 1-0 after 50, 60 minutes, and just nothing happened. And if ever you were losing, which was rare in that season, kind of under Enzo, we never switched gears. We never went plan B or more aggressive.
But this is where I think you three, as a general, kind of wanted a bit more, not counter-attacking football, but a bit more just pace on the attack.
It's not counter-attacking football, it's just exciting football that's not boring. Enzo Ball was just passing it around the back for 60 minutes because we were the better team, so we could just slow the game down. But that, in my eyes, is just boring. And we saw it last season with the Rude, where, we would just play the same style of football. So for me, I don't mind the way that Cifuentes has started to play so far. I do enjoy the, when it's 1 or 2-0 up, you still keep going rather than holding back. And you do have to do something in attack because it doesn't matter how good you are at passing at the back. It doesn't get you goals. It doesn't win you games by being able to pass it for 60 minutes between Vestergaard and Thies. That's just not how you win games. And I don't think our team's strong enough to do that compared to 2 years ago. I think if we tried to play Enzo Ball in Championship again, I don't think we'd walk away with winning the league again.
I mean, it might work. I was listening to a Burnley fan actually on Radio 5 this morning. It was talking about when they went up the last time, they played the sort of Enzo Ball under Vincent Kompany, didn't they? And then they were really dispersive of like the fact that they carried on playing it in the Premier League, which is what we said would happen under Enzo. They said they were very frustrated with Vincent Kompany playing the passive sort of football he did for Burnley, and they're quite looking forward to it. They said Scott Parker was reversed. They said he was quite dull in the Championship but got the job done. But they say actually the Scott Parker more defensive way of playing in the Premier League may do them well. And the reason I'm talking about Burnley is because hopefully with Cifuentes he does get us up. As the squad stands, we've still got an amazing squad and we've got no points deduction as it stands. So Jake, it's going to be interesting to see Cifuentes immediately and then maybe where it goes on. But let's start with the immediate Sunday's game against Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, like we've touched on the points that. Sorry,
he's struggling to speak because he had a chili at lunch and he spent the last 10 minutes coughing and spluttering on a chili.
So in pre-season, I think that it's shown some of the good, some of the bad. I know it's early on. Again, the game against Cologne was really bad. But you could have put that down to a number of factors. I think the Cody Vestergaard partnership just doesn't work. I think that they don't help each other out at all.
Maybe Cody knew he was off as well, and
Yeah.
was like, "I'm not getting injured." And
I don't think it was a full lineup
Plus,
either.
no, we didn't play El Canus. I think, Fatui wasn't really let off his reins. I don't really. That game felt a bit. I think we felt a bit lost. But in the game against Fiorentina, I felt like there was a lot more fluidity in how we played. I think the second half was the pace got slowed down a bit, but it was a pre-season game, so people at the end just don't want to get injured, especially this close to the season. Cifuentes, I'm enjoying watching his football. I have nothing wrong against his football because, like we've said, he won't stop if we're 1-2-0 up. We'll keep on going for it.
I mean, we've yet to see any of this proved.
Yeah,
but yeah, like
that's what I'd say when you're saying about, it's this, it's that.
But I was going to say
we've
we've not seen it in a competitive match, and I think it will evolve. So I think we can judge on it now, and I think most of us are excited to see it. But I think in about a month or two's time, we'll probably get to see how we're really trying to shape up and what we're really trying to do. But I just hope we don't go down the route of like Enzo. I think Enzo's main problem for fans was, like Sam said, if we went 1-0 up, that we would try and hold that 1-0 for a long time rather than going for the 2-0 or the 3-0. Whereas the game we played when we had Enzo, the game that the players went against him, we won 5-0. I think it was 5-0 against Southampton. That was probably the most enjoyable game of the season.
I mean, this guy, Trella, says here, I won't read it all out, but he says Cifuentes' glass ceiling could be higher. He could be. He's the right age. He's got the right schooling, and he's from Barcelona. He grew up watching Barcelona under Johan Cruyff, and he believes in all that way. He could be the next big manager, European manager that's travelling through Leicester that goes on to bigger things. We don't know.
Well, all I can say, and it's proof in a way of saying that Enzo came to us, did what he did, gone to Chelsea, and now he's won Conference League and the World Cup.
You see, I would always come back to Reedy on this, and I think Sam, you kind of agree. Is Enzo took the most expensive championship side ever and won the league?
But he's got, and you're going to say he's gone to Chelsea.
Chelsea with a £1 billion
yes, I get
squad.
the point of it.
Wow.
But other managers,
he's done okay though.
Other managers previous to them wasn't getting that to click anywhere near as well as I think they are now.
I disagree because they didn't not too long ago win the Champions League. So,
well, that was like 5-6 years ago.
No, it wasn't that long ago.
I mean, their expectations is to be top 4 every year and to be winning the Premier League.
I think they had an okay
Champions
season.
League. So
for Chelsea standards, they it was
okay.
Considering the last maybe 2 seasons, they're pretty bad. But Enzo took took us. Like I think someone put it in the comments here that I think any manager would have got us up.
Ben saying here, Enzo walked into team any manager.
Again, I think Cifuentes, I think Enzo got lucky with the Chelsea move personally. I think they were more hiring him for the philosophy and the fact that they worked under Pep than anything else.
It's kind of paid off. It's definitely paid off.
Yeah, it has paid off them. And Cifuentes, I hope it does work out. I've got no issues with him. Obviously, I'll give him time as I would every manager. Not that everyone would. Hint, hint, Cooper. But I will give him time because I'm not naive to the fact that he's a new manager and he'll need time. So I'll see what he can do. So far in pre-season, it's looked okay. I think you can still see from some of the players, maybe more so that some of the styles and the way we are trying to implement, Vestergaard in that team and Faiz in that team, it does slow it down. It does hinder how we want to maybe try and play, and even just their attitude towards the game. Still there. New manager, same players that are, negative and stink on the pitch. So,
I mean, Mark says this, and this is part of this one. I'm yet to be proven. He's got to prove it. He's done nothing yet. But if he was that good, why did QPR not want to keep him?
Because QPR are crap.
No, and this is where people, when we first saw the leak, and then when we announced it, people were saying, "Oh, what's he done? What's this? What's that?" He was in a QPR team that was
no. But why did QPR not want to keep him?
Because he was probably just too good for him.
That's not why they wouldn't keep him.
They put him on.
That makes no sense.
He wanted to go for the West Brom job, so they put him on gardening leave.
Yeah.
West Brom rejected him, So QPR could have said, well, you're still under contract with us. Come and work for us.
I don't know the old situation of it, but
No.
when you were saying about he's not done anything, so we need to be proved.
No, we didn't. I would say Mark saying here, if he's so good, why would QPR not screaming about him and keeping him?
I think a lot of QPR fans are saying that they respect how well he did for them. He kept them up in a position where they probably should never have stayed up with the team they had.
Maybe. Well, I mean, we will see, won't we, Jake? There's just too much improvement.
The one thing I will say is, and this is only because now Danny Rowe has left Sheffield Wednesday, if there was still a position where we were still looking, I think we would have gone for Danny Rowe over Cifuentes. But at that point, he wasn't available for us.
I'm hoping that Cifuentes, I think, will suit the three. Me, Jake, and Sam want to see exciting football. You're happy with passing.
This is where I've said.
So I think Cifuentes will suit us better.
Suits both of us.
Yes, I think Danny Rowe would have been your Enzo-esque, bore me to death, possession football.
But as we saw,
it did bore me.
As we saw, even if in the Fiorentina game with that Fatawu goal, I don't, in my personal opinion, I don't think we would have seen anything as not fast paced, but a bit more.
No, because Enzo coached them not to do that.
Yeah.
He coached them to do maybe the first 10 yards and then pass it backwards.
I just want to see a
which
manager
is what borders.
play the best players in their best positions, playing the best football they can.
Yeah.
I want to see a manager like, I'm hoping Cifuentes has come in and has told Fatawu, anytime you get that ball and there's space, take the space and go for it.
Yeah.
Same with Mavrididi, same with Monga if he plays, same with El Canous when he's on, and whoever, and Ayew. Just play your own game.
I mean, imagine
don't turn around, stop, and pass it back, because we saw that. I think the worst culprit of doing it, and because he was younger, was McAteer. In my opinion,
yeah, I think he's been overcoached.
He never wanted to go forward.
He'd been coached in the first team only really under Enzo. So his early career started being coached to not take on players and turn around. And there were so many times McAteer got the ball, and you think a competent, skillful winger should be able to go at that point, go into that big gap of space, but he stopped and turned around every time.
I mean, to me, I think
want players to go for it.
If we do play with obviously the faster paced style, like you said, you liked Fatahu's goal. You'd never see that under Enzo because we've been told not to play. Fatahu and Mavrididi for me are two massive players. I think they're both probably going to be standout players because they're both, I think, very good players, especially Fatahu, who were told to slow it down in the Championship under Enzo 2 seasons ago, and they still had pretty good seasons. So I think if you let Fatahu just run at players and shoot rather than cross or slow it down and pass it back to the middle of the pitch, like he did against Fiorentina, I think that's the kind of thing that we've missed. That Riyad Mahrez-esque player that he just knows how to play football and he knows how to take on a man. And that's why I'm looking forward to, what we've seen in pre-season, hopefully continuing into proper competitive games. Because I think that is going to be the difference maker for us. I don't think we can sit back entirely in these games anymore, because I think that we could get outplayed. I think there's teams that probably expect teams like us to think we're better. But like you said, if you play Man City 50 times, 1 out of the 49, you might beat them. So, that's the case with any team. If we think we're going to beat Sheffield Wednesday on Sunday, we could lose against them. So we need to play it to our own strengths and get 2 or 3-0 goal lead in the first 60 minutes.
Strikers score your goals, but wingers are normally one of the most exciting players in the team. And in my lifetime watching Leicester, I've watched wingers like Steve Lynex, so I know you two lot are way too young to remember, but Steve Lynex, Tommy Wright, Steve Guppy, and then Mark Albrighton. These wingers were great wingers, but they got the ball, they went down the byline, they got as deep as they could, and then they were tremendous at crossing. But then Sam's just mentioned one of them, Riyad Mahrez, and then way back, way before you lot were born, Keith Weller. They're the only 2 wingers in my lifetime watching Leicester, Keith Weller and Riyad Mahrez, where you just did not know what they're going to do when they get that ball. And all you wanted to do was give the ball to Riyad Mahrez, give the ball to Keith Weller, because there's every chance they're going to do something you've never seen before at Leicester, and they're going to take people on. And Fatawu,
I was going to say that
could be. He's nowhere near in that bracket.
No.
So don't
I'm not
come
saying,
here saying
I'm not going to say
he's
that.
anywhere
I'm
near
saying
Riyad Mahrez because he's nowhere near Riyad Mahrez.
What I'm saying is
nowhere near. But
he's
could
probably
be
the
on
closest
that
we've got in a while since him. Like you guys see, you got the likes of Gazelle and even Perez at times, or
I don't think Fatu was
Pepe.
anywhere near touch the same.
No, I'm not saying that.
As being
I'm just saying he is one player that when you get the ball, as much as you probably know he's going to go down the byline, but he will do something to make that happen without thinking.
Under Cifuentes, I think this is what Sam was saying, is if he's given
he has to let the
if he's
play
if he's given the rule, like if you get that ball and you want to express yourself, as they would say, go do it.
They're both Mavididi and Fatu and the midfielders, and I think you can even see it under El Khanous. They were all creatively constricted because I think someone said if they lost the ball, the Enzo would just absolutely rip them to shreds. And this is why, for me, I don't like that style or Enzo ball, because when we did beat Southampton 4 or 5-0, Enzo came out and openly said it was the worst game of the season he's seen us play, which is pathetic.
Because
from
the
a
players
manager,
didn't follow his instruction.
Exactly.
But
they just went on their own.
And I will say this is probably the opposite to why maybe Cifuentes' style compared to Enzo might be worse. And it's because if you want to be more attacking and be more direct and faster paced, the concern is it's going to lead to probably more chances against us. And that's where the Enzo system, where you're passing around the back a lot more, was being a bit more defensively minded.
But I still find that more exciting, Rudy.
No, I get that. No, I'm not saying it's an issue. I'm just saying that
make a save. I'm excited to see him make the save.
That's the same for any
game.
game.
To tears
if you're too afraid to play a football and you just want to sit and defend,
it's not about being.
It's not fearless.
You just said
fearful.
You just said if we attack and we lose the ball, then it's now we're afraid to defend.
It's not about being afraid to defend. I'm just saying that the chance of you wanting to be a bit more direct and a bit more attacking will just mean that there's going to be more chances of being
not
against
if the defenders don't hold off. You just sit on the halfway line. Remember Hoof.
It's more risk, more risk.
We just sat on the halfway line.
Then it's obviously more.
It's
risk.
not more risk, more reward. You just got to play a football.
More chance.
You got to. If you're going to play that counter-attacking or faster-paced football to the wingers, then don't commit. You're right back into the midfield. Just have him holding.
I'm not saying there will be issues. I'm just saying there's more of a chance if you are being a bit more.
Yeah. There's ways to do it. For me, possession-based football, I think, has been drilled too hard into fans thinking that that's the way forward.
Well, that's why I think Cifuentes might be in the middle.
I think it works in the Championship. I don't think it's the right thing to just solely, try and play passing football. I think in implementing an attacking style into it, it needs to be done for me, and it makes more games more exciting.
Just Mark says here, Tommy Wright, Tommy Wright. I know you guys don't, but some of the people watching know Tommy Wright as a winger. And he's similar to Fatua, not in style, but in the fact that he's a fan's favourite. So Tommy Wright was a massive fan's favourite, and Fatua is a fan's favourite as well. Just a quick question here. Ian says, random question. Do you know why Cifuentes wears 2 watches? I don't know if that's the starting line to a joke. I've not noticed he wears 2 watches.
I know a lot of people wear just a regular watch and then a Fitbit on the other hand. So unless he's got 2 clock watches.
Well, check the picture on the thing. See if he's wearing 2 watches on the board.
We'll have to have a look. On where? On the
bottom now.
Yeah, if only you got his hands in, Reedy.
Oh, there's 1 watch there. You can see on one hand.
Yeah. Anyway,
Jay, you were about to say something.
Well, I was going to say that I think that Cifuentes, I'm hoping, because I think in the last couple seasons, probably since Rodgers was leaving at the end of that season, I think there's been a massive fan divide.
Yeah.
In terms of,
I think so.
A handful of fans want this, a handful of fans want that. One set of fans gets it, and the other one are annoyed, and then one set of fans are saying, "Well, why are you annoyed? Why are you annoyed?"
Yeah.
Yup, and whatever. And I think we had that again last season, where when we had Cooper, a lot of the fans that wanted passing football just threw a bit of a tiz was to get. It wasn't just them, but there was multiple factors, but got Cooper out, and then they got Rudin, which is more like their style, and then all the fans that didn't want the passing football were saying, "Well, now look what you've done. That's your fault." And I think that's why I'm hoping Cifuentes can be sort of that bridge where we are going to play some passing football, but there's also, I mean, look,
sounds like a manager. What a manager should do, Jay.
Yeah, but Fatu is not going to be told run at a player every single time.
No, he's going to be told pick your moment.
Yeah, that's what I mean, and I think it should be exciting for everyone because like really likes passive football. You'll get that. We like counter-attacking football, and we'll probably get that at some point. I'm hoping.
I think
as
we get
well.
some attacking.
So
I'm not saying I don't want to.
Get a mix.
That's why I'm not saying I don't want the wingers to come in or every time inside.
Yeah, but they never did under Renzo.
Well, they did it at times. I remember. I remember Fatari going down the wing a lot of the time and then
passing it back
and then crossing it in instead of it being.
Yeah, but that's not.
He was passing it back.
No, I get the point.
That's crossing isn't cutting in and taking.
Well, he wasn't even crossing it. He was crossing when he did put it in the box. It was from far too deep.
Actually watched 1 to minute 90 of Enzo ball every game. The wingers they were the only times they did anything was when it was a breakaway goal, which didn't happen very often. But it was clearly two wingers that were very good against some poor teams. But we didn't cut it in.
I do agree with Terrence.
Yeah, I think they alerted a lot of clubs maybe to this guy because he's been off the radar for a year. Mm-hmm. I guess we're kind of Cifuentes for me. Really pick the title of this, and I'd kind of say I'd like to have this debate again in maybe a month's time when we've seen 4 games. Because at this moment, I'm quite liking the way it's going, but I think we've not got a lot to go on.
Sheffield Wednesday is going to be a hard game to judge as well. I think we should steamroll them at least 3 or 4 or 5-0.
Yeah, like Sam says, out 50 games,
that's going to be
should be about 40 to 45 times out of 50. You should be beating this sort of team. There is the odd chance that we don't.
We didn't beat them at all last year, did we? We drew. Yeah, did we beat them at home?
We beat them away as well.
No, we didn't.
Because we went. It was freezing.
It was 1-1.
It was 1-1 at Hillsborough.
It's
so cold. Do you remember?
Yeah, but
so cold.
I remember it vividly.
We scored early,
and
then we didn't
10 minutes,
push.
And we did nothing for the rest of the game.
Enzo, and then they scored right at the end.
Fair enough.
Do you remember?
I remember the Fatty goal.
Because that for me was
we took about 5,000 fans, and it was really quiet because it was that boring.
It was boring. No one was singing. It was a dead game.
Honestly, it was cold at Hillsborough that night. And it was boring, and 5,000 Leicester fans made no noise.
The King Power
because it was dull.
The King Power has been.
That's what I'm sick of.
The King Power has been quiet in the last couple of years because of the sort of football we've been watching.
People say, "Where's the atmosphere gone?" It's what's on the pitch.
Now that we've got Cifuentes, and hopefully we do play a bit more attacking football, and we've got the new safe standing areas. I'm hoping that does generate more noise and a bit more. If you see more excitement on the pitch, then fans are going to be getting off their chairs. The fans stood
up. Don't need to get off our chairs, do we?
Well, when Pato does that, like he does on Sunday,
that's what
you get up for. When Rez was playing, he would trap the ball would come 50 yards, he'd trap it and do a turn. I would stand up because you're just amazed and excited about what they've done. It's the God voice. Oh my God!
Well, the good thing about us this
watching them pass it around the back.
The good thing about us this season. The good thing about this season is we already standing up. So
we'll see how it works. Just before we go, guys, I think we haven't touched on it yet. Just a quick one. Wilfred Ndidi has obviously left the club today. He's been a good player, so let's start with.
He hasn't.
Well,
Besiktas announced that he's having a medical with him in the shirt.
Sure, yeah. So
he hasn't officially signed, but he's on their socials having a medical.
Yeah, which means he's.
Unless he fails a medical, he's a Besiktas player.
Why would you put that in your social?
If you've done that and you're wearing a shirt and he's doing all these things on a plane, doing like the cat or whatever it is, and then it comes out that he's not passed his medical, you think, well, we're not having you back then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you've already moved, you've already got everything on.
What's the reported figure? Is it 9, 10, 11? I've read 3 figures.
About 9.5
million. Which, considering 12 months ago he was available for free, is actually let's give Rudkin an actual well done, mate.
Well,
because he's just sold Conor Cody for 2 million. I think most of
this is where I think they've got to try and turn things around.
But Wilfred Ndidi for 9 million when we let him go for free last year is actually decent business, isn't it?
No, but this is where you have to turn things around.
And the wage bill again.
And the wage bill's reduced.
Surely we have to be bringing some players in now. We let a handful go on the free transfer because their contracts run out. Then we've let Conor Cody go, and we've let Wilfred Ndidi go. That's 3 big earners. 4 big earners if you count Ward, because I think he was on decent money. There's probably about £350,000 a week saved on wages. Probably more.
You've also got. You do have to bear in mind that we have been
12 million.
Yeah, but we have also been like on the breaking PSR. So
yeah, but at this point now, you should be able to at least bring in a loan player.
you'd think
You had £100 million
if,
at the.
yeah, but if we're walking a fine line between how
going
many
down.
Yeah, we've got a lot of
wages-
wages off now.
we have got a lot, but
off.
if you got to
That's
think,
going to be
if
nearly
we were,
400,000
more.
if we were like, I don't know how much, say if we were overspending by 200 million a week on wages, then we should have. It can all catch up. They're probably playing.
What was your
catch
maths
up.
there? 200 million a week.
200,000, sorry, not million. God, long day.
No, but this is where they need to turn things around. In the fact of people have been saying how badly the club's been run, but now.
But we've only signed Begovic, and we
No,
don't
it's
know
not
what
about-
he's on.
it's not about
So hopefully
signing.
we're not.
It's not about the
signing him on
signing
big
though.
money.
It's about again Vardy. I know we didn't do anything to keep or anything, but that's 140k off the books. Ward, I don't know how much he was on 40, 50. And Didi are probably about the same as that. You had
50 or
Cody
60,
and like,
90.
that's what I'm saying. All these are adding
Yeah,
up.
It's
And
a
as
lot.
much as we've,
It's a lot.
as
But
much
we
as
were
we're not,
playing catch up anyway, though.
yes,
We were
and as much
overpaying
as we've
what
not
we
signed
paid.
anyone yet, I'm sure now we've got this sort of money and the wages off the books. You could go and give another player who comes in like a Brownhill a 50 grand a week. I know it's more than probably you want to, but you have basically got about what 400 or 500 grand a week.
I think
back.
we only our
Again, it
team only
depends
needs.
because we're playing catch up. We
Yeah.
might, as much as we might see it as 400 grand off the wages, the club might see it. Well, we're actually even now for what the
Yeah, no, I get
championship
that, yeah.
requires
Yeah,
us to be. So therefore, they might go, well, we can't sign anyone because we're going
No, I
to be
get
on for the PSR again.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure in tonight's show, the Foxes focus, Jono and Simon will probably talk a lot more detail about Wilfred Ndidi. So the shows this week are, of course, tonight we have got Foxes focus show at 7:30. So make sure you join Simon and Jono there. Then Reedy and Sam will be live tomorrow around lunchtime to do a tactics talk where they'll pick who they think is going to be a starting 11, which I think is going to be really, really interesting one. And then on Sunday, we've got the aftermath show at 9:30, and then we'll be doing a live after the match. And of course, I'm back on Monday. So join Reedy and Sam tomorrow, tactics show. That's going to be a debate who you think is going to start. Because last year it kind of was,
Basically,
Rude was
that's
picking
one,
the
yeah.
same team every week. So that show became, not being funny. There was not a lot for you to do on it. I think tomorrow
I
there's
think I
going to be a
picked
lot.
Stacker in every position for one of last season.
So we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, listen, thanks for everybody who's watching. If you can drop us a like and a share, if you're watching on Facebook or Instagram, please do. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. We'll see you at the next show. Cheers all.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Foxes Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.